Starscream back for a Transformer look at character review. Now I know I've been doing my top 10 and I've been quite enjoying it, but I'm going to take a break from that just for the moment, if that's alright. And if it's not alright, I'm still going to do it anyway, because I can do what I like on my own channel, can't I? Yeah. Alright, I'll shut up now. Alright. It's a look at two characters who share the same now. Now I know what you're thinking. This is Swoop and this is Divebomb. Yeah, well, no prizes for guessing that. But there is a backstory to these guys which ties them into the same name. Now, before I go any further, I'd just like to say this isn't going to be a review of the toys so much as a background character information. That's about it, really. Background character information. If you want to see a good review of the toys, transformations, the aesthetics, you know, along those lines, there's a chap called Ray out there. Most of you are familiar with him. He's better at it than I when it comes to talking about the toys, but I like to think I shed a little bit of interest as regards background character. Maybe, you know, maybe, just, no, alright, oh, alright, forget it. Okay, Swoop and Divebomb. Now, as you know, the Dinobots in the cartoon are created by a wheeljack in a cave. Not particularly exciting, is that? So, this is a comic book run. I think it's the UK original comic. I think it might have been Simon Furman, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, alright? I'm sorry. It's just his first name that buzzed into my head. And it's called What's in a Name. And it transpires that on Cybertron, yes, going by the comics now, Swoop wasn't called Swoop at all. It's called Divebomb. And he was quite an egotistical show-off. Yeah, he's quite big-headed. He was quite, you know, confident in his abilities to fight. I'm the best Transformer in the air. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go any more into that. Now, he comes across a Decepticon. And this Decepticon, too, well, it doesn't actually explain whether his name was Divebomb before he encountered Swoop, whether he'd taken the name Divebomb at the same time as Swoop, or he just thought he'd take his name for shits and giggles. Any one of the above, and maybe one that I've just missed out. Anyway, they get into a fight, these two guys. Now, if you're going to go along toy-wise, Swoop really doesn't stand a chance unless he wants to, you know, head him in his waist. I was going to go a bit lower there, but no, we'll call it his waist, shall we? Actually, it's a bit high in his waist. You can hit him in the stomach or something. Anyway, they have a bit of a flying match. You know, Swoop's quite, you know, arrogant, egotistical, you know, feels comfortable in his abilities to fly. You know, I can take on this Decepticon, not a problem. I'm Divebomb. Apparently can't. He's completely outclassed and outmatched by Divebomb. And Divebomb, you know, really kicks the crap of it out of him. So, at this point, the battle comes to a crescendo where Swoop, Divebomb, whatever you want to call him, is at the other Divebomb's mercy, and he thinks, well, that's it. Well, hope death comes quickly because I don't want to be humiliated. Guess what happens? Optimus Prime shoots down Divebomb. Well, the humiliation for Swoop, or Divebomb here, is... This is getting confusing. If it's alright, I'll just call him Swoop for the remainder of this review. He ends up being that name anyway. So, the humiliation for Swoop, having Divebomb here, shot down by Optimus Prime, absolutely unbearable, and that's something that he has to live. You know how prideful the Dinobots are, and if you're going by the comic book run, they're not so retarded as they are in the cartoon. These guys have a little bit more going on up there, and even in the cartoon, if you notice, Swoop is one of the more intelligent ones, or he at least understands what's going on around him, doesn't he? He's not so selfish or small-minded that he can't appreciate the larger scale of things. So yeah, Swoop was always one of the more open-minded ones, wasn't he? And no more so than in the comics. So yeah, the humiliation he finds unbearable. And then later on, while he's on Earth now, so fast forward a long time, they're on Earth now. He's taken the transformation of a Dinobot. Dinobot? What the hell's a Dinobot? You ever seen a dinosaur called a Dinobot? No. He takes on the likeness of a Tyrannosaurus Rex now. Where'd that come from? Pterodactyl. I got there. I'm really getting there now. Okay. So, ow. God. We gotta take those steps back just to make it something. Yeah, still got two eyes. Right, get back to the story, shall we? Okay. Fast forward a long time, which I think I've already done anyway, but we'll fast forward anyway. Swoop's on Earth now, as I said, watching a programme on TV, well actually it's the news, and he finds out that the Predacons are going on a rampage around Earth, and I think primarily it's responsible for Divebomb because he's bored now. He's got nothing to do. This chap here, he's bored. He's bored with bits falling off him, you know, like they do, and he's bored with the situation that the Predacons in, just taking out Earthlings, because they're boring, aren't they, because they can't fight back. So he wants a bit of competition, a bit of sport, you know. Fair enough, fair enough. And I think he's taunting Swoop now, because he knows. The Dinobots so far think that Swoop had a run-in with Divebomb. Swoop lost, but Swoop went back and killed Divebomb. Now they're all going, well, how comes he's still here, Swoop? You know, because you said that Divebomb weren't around. He says, well, maybe I didn't do such a good job as I thought I did, but I'm going to finish it off now. So let's fast forward a lot more now. They get into a fight, okay? Swoop goes in, he takes on Divebomb. And Swoop thinks now, well, I'm that much cleverer, that much smarter, we're along that much more. I'm sure I've got enough to get Divebomb, you know. I can get him and I can get my name back. And no, he's wrong completely. He hasn't got a chance, he hasn't got a hope in hell. He's no match for Divebomb whatsoever. And yet again, he finds himself at the mercy of Divebomb. But this time, Divebomb here, my friends, has got Swoop at his mercy with the rest of the Predacons. So he's in a very bad situation. So he says, look, do you know what? Just kill me. It's a lot quicker and a lot simpler. Living in this tormented state, I really don't want it. The other Dinobots think I'm living a lie. Well, they don't think I'm living a lie. I know I'm living a lie. And I know I've lied to them. And they think another story that's going on together. So we won't go down that route. So yeah, he said, just get rid of me. Just finish me off and we'll be the end of it. But Divebomb says, I don't really want to go down that route. And just as they're going through all this, they give him a bit of, you know, a couple of black eyes, a bit of rough and tumble. You know, duff him up a bit. And the other Dinobots appear, so the Predacons now are taking on the Dinobots, and it's a pretty good fight. These are 3 different comic stories, by the way. You know, I said the first one, what's in the name, but these are different comics, so it's on a run, and that was the first one. So if you get hold of that, you'll get hold of the sequels, and yeah, you can work it out for yourselves. And yeah, so it comes to a situation now where Divebomb tries to, well, he does beat Swoop again. Now Swoop's in a very bad situation, so what he thinks I'll try and get Divebomb into the sights of one of my Dinobot counterparts, and maybe he can take him out for me. And he does. I think it's either Grimlock or Sludge. Grimlock or Sludge? Yeah, I think it's one of the two. Takes out Divebomb, but Divebomb's alright, he gets up, and then he goes to take on, I think it is actually Grimlock, because Swoop's out of it for the time being. Now, Divebomb says, I've got a little secret about your Dinobot counterpart, and Grimlock goes, well, you know what? I don't actually care. If you've got a dirty little secret about him, guess what? We already know it. But us Dinobots, we stick together, so whatever you've got to tell me, I already know. And even if I didn't know, I really wouldn't care. And that's just a quick synopsis. Obviously to say, Grimlock lets Divebomb go. Grimlock explains to Swoop, it doesn't matter, mate. You're one of us. You'll always be one of us. And whatever you'd have or haven't done, you're always going to be a Dinobot. And that's how the story transpires. And if you think that's interesting, or I've done a fair enough analogy of it, check out the story. But if you've already seen it or read it, you know exactly what I'm on about. And it's one damn good read. And it involves Swoop, who I'm a real big fan of the toy, actually. I know it's very fragile and it's an old toy, but you know what? Damn, it's one of the best ones. And Divebomb, my favourite Predacon, actually. Even though he seems to have lost a weapon. I always like the ones that fly, so that's why I like Starscream. I like the flying guys, but I like the vehicle guys too. But that will revolve more around my top 10 because we're down to the last 5. Anyway, I'm rambling on again, and I hope I haven't bored you too much. Yeah, I can't say I haven't bored you at all, because I know I have, but not too much that you won't check out anything else I do next time. Take care, everybody. See anybody who's going to Auto Assembly, looking forward to it. I'll probably check you guys out there, and yeah, take care, everybody, and see you out there.